Welcome to Get a Clue, Casual Gamer, where we get a clue, CLUE, about a game, or continuing my list of top 100. I know I have been gone for a couple weeks now, and yeah, I hurt my arm, my right bicep, and it's been taking a while to heal for me to be able to use things and to do things with it. And part of my problem for recording something was that my notebook that has my list and everything were out in my car, and every time I went out to do something, by the time I got home I was so tired and my arm was so sore, I would just come right inside and I would forget to go look for my notebook, which was in the back of my car, because um, if you saw my last video, you saw that I was at a friend's house, and when I recorded the last video, and I had taken a bunch of games there, over 40, and they're still all in my car because this arm cannot lift the bags that they're in, and I'm trying to protect my left arm to not strain it, because I did slightly 3 nights ago, and actually it's still a little sore here on the deltoid. Um, Trying to compensate for not using the right as much. So anyway, long story. I finally was able to remember yesterday when I got home to go into the back of my minivan and find which container, which bag had my top 100 list notebook in it. And so I was able to pull it together, and we're going to get a clue about the numbers 20 to 11. Um, when it comes to 20 to 11, there is actually one that is absolutely new this year. I played it for the first time this year, and it's all the way up in my top 20. I also have one that is whew, 28 years old. Yeah, no, 38 years old. 38? Yeah, 38 years old on my list. And I have one that is almost next year, I guess. No, this year will be its 75th year. It should come out with a special edition or something, you'd think. But let's get started and find out what my 20 to 11 favorite games of all time are. No, oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Let me get that, get my pictures up and running, because of course I need to show you pictures of what these games look like. Okay, so the first one came out in 1986. Okay, 1986. I haven't had it that long, but I've had it for a while, and I literally cannot remember where I got it. I know that the copy that I have is not the oldest version. I think an older version of the one I have has a blue or purple cover, and the one I have is more of a red, orange, yellow cover. It is number 20 is the game Labyrinth. Labyrinth, like I said, came out in 86. For the top 20, I'm going to try and give you a little bit extra information. For instance, it is a game for 2 to 4 players, and they say it plays in 20 minutes. I say 20 to 30 minutes you could play it. Now, Labyrinth also has a junior version, Junior Labyrinth. Let's just say the original Labyrinth has 7 rows and 7 columns, and the Junior Labyrinth has 5 rows and 5 columns. So that makes it a little bit easier to deal with. What you're doing is you're going to have a stack of cards that have an item shown on them. And you're going to look at the top one and see what item it is. And you are trying to reach that item in the labyrinth. And as you reach them, you get to count that card as completed, and then you look at the next card and you try and do that. The first person to get to all of their locations wins the game. It's a simple race type thing like that. But what's the catch? You're not just like in a stagnant map. No, it's a dungeon crawl where it's changing and shifting with every person's turn. Because when it's your turn, there's one tile, and you can pick a row or a column and slide that tile into it, and that shifts the entire row of tiles. And you're trying to get your person from starting point down these corridors on these tiles. And each time it's your turn, you put in a tile, trying to get it closer and closer and closer to the object you're trying to reach. But at the same time, other people are shifting those columns and rows as well. So where you stopped at the end of your turn could be a total different place than when you get back to your turn again. Like I said, it plays 2 to 4 players. It takes no time to learn how to play it. It's a very, very easy game to play. And I was surprised that I have not done an actual video. I went looking through my videos to see if I had done videos for some of these. And this is not one I've done an actual video for. Maybe because it was so old, I was trying to keep up with the new stuff, and I didn't go back to Labyrinth. But there are several. The original, like I said, the cover looks like what I showed you. Let me bring it back up again. Looks like that. But they have different themed ones nowadays, so you might be able to find one of the themed ones as well. And it's by Ravensburger, great company. And that is my number 20, Labyrinth. Number 19 is the new kid on the block. Number 19 is a very small card game. The artwork on it is quite unusual. It came out in 2022, but I didn't get to play it nor own it until 2023. So it was new to me this past year. It is my number 19, and it is Sea, Salt, and Paper. Okay, that shines too much, so I'll angle it that way. Sea, Salt, and Paper. Plays 2 to 4 players, 30 to 45 minutes. I have done a separate video for it recently. It is okay, so the different cards will have different criteria for points. Some will want to be matched up with something and it gives it a special power. But sometimes you have, if you have 3 of this opposed to 1 or 2, if you have 1, it's worth 1 point. If you have 2, it's worth 3 points. If you have 3, it's worth 7 points. It's like, you're trying to create these collections, so, set collection, but there's also some powers on some of the cards that allow you to do an extra turn or to do, so it's different ways of getting points and getting access to things that you really want. And it's a card game. It's a simple card game. And like I said, I've done a video on it. So if you want to have more information about this really cute game with all of the artwork is origami. It's beautiful. Beautiful artwork, all origami. Real origami, not just some AI, not some drawing or whatever. Somebody actually did this. Okay, that was my number 19, and it was new to me this year. Number 18, it came out in 2009, so it is, 14 years old now. 15 this year. 2009. It is a two-player game. Sea Salt and Paper was a 2 to 4 player game. Um, and this one is Jaipur. It's a two-player game. It's been around for a few years, so it's kind of like a modern classic of two-player games. Last year it was my number 50. The year before that it was my number 27. This year it got all the way up to 18. I think I've been playing it more, and there is an app for it as well. So that's a nice thing to have. Is to in fact, I played the app I think earlier today or maybe late last night. Can't remember. Recently, within the last 24 hours. Jaipur, like I said, plays two people. It's a two-player game, 30 minutes. I do have a separate video on it itself, the whole CLUE. If you've never watched any of my individual game, C is for components. What are you going to find inside that box? L is for length of play. How long does this game take to play? U is for uniqueness. Does it remind me of any other game? E is for ease. How easy is it to learn, teach, play? How easy is it to find? How easy is it on your pocketbook? All of that can be found on the Jaipur recording, episode, whatever you want to call it. You're collecting sets and selling sets. In some cases, you can sell one. You can sell two. There are 3 items that you can only sell in 2 or greater groupings. But if you sell back sets of 3, 4, or 5, you get extra points for selling them in a larger group. So it's all of these different coins, and you've got these cards. Let's say you're collecting rubies, and then you sell the rubies and you get a token. Let's say you sold 2 rubies, you get the top 2 tokens on the ruby pile, and each one is worth points, and they get worth less as you go down the pile of tokens. And the tokens are like little chips. Anyway, so that's Jaipur. Cool. I really enjoy it, and like I said, there's an app for it, and so I've been playing it solo a lot in the last few weeks since I realized there was an app for it. That was my number 18. My number 17 came out in 2018. I cannot believe it's already 6 years old. This year it's 6 years. Last year is my number 21, and the year before that it was new to me, so I had not played it yet. It's plays 2 to 4 players, around 45 minutes. I have not done a separate review or getting a clue of it, but it is Quacks of Quedlinburg. Quacks of Quedlinburg is a push your luck game. And it's also a bag builder. Not that always helps you, because one of the games I played, we were like to the last round, and so I had all kinds of point tokens in my bag, and you're trying to go as far as you can and not bust over 9 points, I think it is. And so I'm pulling out tokens and go to play, and it's like 3 tokens and I bust. And I'm like, wait a minute, I have gone nowhere. This is one of those runs where I should be able to go like 12 and not worry about points. And here I am already at 9, and I can't. It's like, obviously I've lost the game. It's really obvious, because there is an element of chance. That's how you're pushing your luck. If I had been pulling out all the greens and the purples and the reds and everything, I would have been going down that line, spiraling around and spiraling around, and I didn't. I did early in the game. I had fun, and I enjoy it enough that it's my number 27. I'm sorry about that. Um, and last year was my number 21. So yeah, Quacks. Sorry, Quacks, but and let me put it back up here. Quacks of Quedlinburg. Okay, lots of people love this game. Out of the Lots of people have spent a lot of money on upgrading the pieces of it, the tokens, and all of that. Um, I just have the base game, and I love playing the base game. But Quacks of Quedlinburg is my number 17. My number 16, it came out in 2021, so it's not that old. Last year was my number 49, and the year before that it was new to me, so it was not on my list. And this is the one where I will show you the actual box itself. And my number 16 is Enchanted Plumes. Beautiful, beautiful artwork. The cards, I will show you what the backs of the cards look like. And then you have I'm just going to fan some out here. It's like all of these plumes. They are supposed to be the plumes of a um mm-hmm, mm, my I'm getting old. And there are times where I can't think of peacock. There we go. A simple word, a normal word. The whole concept is that you are creating the feathers, the tail feathers of a peacock. And the larger the tail is, the more points you're going to get. You should be able to get. Um, it's just a simple card game. Like I said, this year's my number 16. It's just so pretty and so simple to play. I don't always win it, but I enjoy playing it. And that's the key. It's like you don't have to win it to enjoy it. Um, it plays 2 to 6 players in 20 to 40 minutes. Yeah, that's about right. Say 30 minutes. Yeah. But I love Enchanted Plumes. I did do a picture of it there because I wasn't sure which game I was going to find easily to show you the actual card, the box. Enchanted Plumes, you will be drawing the different feather cards from an array, and certain ones you can pick up, and then you have to open up slots. You can't take one from the top that has other cards on top of it, partially on top of it. You have to take from the available at the bottom of the pile, of pyramid-ish shape of cards. And then you can create, I think you can create as many peacock tails as you want, but you do want to try and make them large, because that's where the exponential multiplication happens of points. So beautiful cards, simple game, small box. What's not to love? That was my number 16, Enchanted Plumes. My number 15. Okay, this is a special spot in my heart. Number 15 is the highest that any of my Clue games got to. So I call it my Clue. For those who don't know me, have not watched me a lot, the reason this channel is called Get a Clue is because when I was 9 years old, I fell in love with the game Clue. And so I have collected over 45 different Clue games. I need to do a video on some of the new stuff, all the different types of Clue that have come out, but we're talking about basic game, the game that I grew up on. I have a reproduction of the version I had as a kid, and my friend Darlene got me um, the gold box. It's the gold box Clue. It's the one with the cartoon characters on it. In fact, the Professor Plum is in my little logo, yes, area for this channel. The uh, the premise, of course, if you've never played Clue or heard about it, it has six suspects, six weapons, and nine rooms. And at the very beginning of the game, one room, one person, and one weapon is secretly taken out and put into a little envelope, and all the rest of the cards are mixed together and divvied out to everybody. And so the game is trying to figure out what room, person, and weapon is in that envelope. And it's a deduction game, and there's all different forms of Clue, and they're trying to make money off of the name. But like I said, I'm going to need to do a whole video on Clue, its history, and all the different types of Clue that are out there, and what's real, what's not. It's very interesting, but it came out in 1949 in the United States. That's the first time it came out. Part of that history is how it ended up coming out earlier here than in its mother country of England, but it did. Parker Brothers brought it to the United States in 1949. And so Clue is the oldest one on my list today. It is last year it was number 55, and the year before that it was 71. This year it's 15. Why has it jumped up so much? It probably because of the nostalgia of it. A couple last year before that, I was getting to all of these new games and all of these wonderful new games. There's so many new games out there, so many wonderful games out there. And when I went to do you want to play this or this, thing on PubMeeple, Clue got pushed back and pushed back because of all these new games that I was playing. But I think this year, when I looked at doing the PubMeeple, trying to figure out what are my top 100, I said no. I like playing Clue. I know it's a mass market game, but because of nostalgia, I like it. In fact, I played it a couple weeks ago with a twist, with a gamer's twist to it. We played it with a deck of cards instead of dice. We each had numbers 1 through 12 in our hand. Joker, Jack and Queen, no kings, aces through Queen. And instead of rolling dice, we just chose a card and said, I want to move 7 spaces. And so I'm putting down my 7 card. And I move 7 spaces, which help you go from room to room exactly how you want to go. And I liked it that way. That was adding a gamer's twist, something that is used, a mechanism that is used in a lot of hobby games, that makes it much more strategic and less chance when you're playing the game of Clue. So my number 15, Clue. Plays 2 to 6 players, about 45 minutes, and it's my number 15. Number 14. This year it's 14. Last year was number 5, and the year before that it was new to me, so I had not played it. It was my number 5 because I enjoyed playing it, but I couldn't find it. This year it's gone down a little to 14 because I've had a chance to play it, and so it's not so up there in my, I really want to play this more. Ooh, am I moving all of that? Oh my goodness, how am I doing that? I didn't know the floor was going to move this little table that much. I'm not touching the table, so it's like, okay. Anyway, So yeah, so Christmas Tree came out in 2017. So it's been around for 7 years. It plays two to four players, and it takes 30 to 45 minutes. And I have done another video specifically on the game Christmas Tree, so I won't spend too much time on it. The cards set up like a tree. Of course, it's Christmas themed, and you are creating. You're laying down cards strategically to try and achieve goals and make more points, dependent on what you put where. What card do you put where? The cards are more of a diamond shape than a square. You're playing them as a diamond on this Christmas tree. And if that interests you at all, it's a tile laying game, even though you're using cards instead of tiles, but it's a tile laying game. And I love tile laying games, which is why I knew the moment I played it the first time, I said, this is one I want. But it's not the cheapest Christmas one, because you can get Christmas games for $5-10. This one's about $30. So you've got to be sure about it. Watch the video and make sure, because I really love it. So it's kind of like, I got it. I'm glad I finally got it. I put it off for 2 years because of the price, and finally said, I'm tired of waiting. It has not gone down in price in 2 years, ever. So I'm just buying it, and I do not regret it. My number 13 came out in 2021. Last year it was my number 25. The previous year was my number 9. It plays 1 to 6 players. It takes about 20 minutes to play, and I have also done a separate video on it. And I never showed you the pictures. Oh, sorry. I've got pictures. Okay. This is a picture I got off of Etsy, but that's my Clue game there. That's my Clue game. The one that, the gold box version. But then also Christmas Tree, the box looks like this. Okay. So that gives you an idea of what it looks like, so you know what you're looking for. But my number 13 is Super Mega Lucky Box. Super Mega Lucky Box is, everyone who has played it have fallen in love with it, because well, first of all, they look at that and go, oh, it reminds me of the after school, Conjunction Junction, and I'm Just a Bill. Up on, Capitol Hill. Anyway, Super Mega Lucky Box was my number 25 last year, 9 the previous year, and okay, I have the app for it, which I think is why it's back up to 13 this year. I play the app pretty much at least once a day. It's like, I got the app. And because you play it, you're going to have, in the regular game, in the real box game, you're going to have these kind of little cards, wipe off cards, and I'm just going to pick the top 3 just to get it started. And then what's going to happen is you're going to have a deck of numbers, and you're going to flip a number over and exit out on one of your cards that you have with you. When you complete a row or a column, kind of like, tic-tac-toe, you win something. Like, for instance, if you finish 1, 2, 3 here at that top, you get to X out a 6 anywhere on one of your cards. Or you could get a lightning bolt or a star or a crescent moon. All sorts of different things you can win by finishing a column or a row. And that's what you're doing. There's 4 rounds, and you're going to go through number cards 4 times, and that's it. that's the game. It's a very simple game. Anyone who knows how to play tic-tac-toe can play this one. I think of it as a cross between tic-tac-toe and bingo. He's like, here's the number, exit out. But you only exit out once, not on every card. You exit out once. Pick a card, exit out. And when you finish a row or a column, not diagonal, row or column, you win something extra to get more points at the end of the game. And so that is Super Mega Lucky Box. Let me go back to my pictures. And that's what the cover looks like. I love that cover. That's my number 13. My number 12. Number 12 is a party game. It plays up to 7, though I have bought 2 boxes of it, so I can easily play up to 14. It came out in 2018. It was my number 12 last year, my number 16 the previous year. So it stayed. I mean, it's 12 this year, it was 12 last year, and 16 the previous year. It's pretty well stayed from the moment I first got it, and it is Just One. Just One. I'm trying to put it at an angle so you can see it without the reflection. Just One. Like I said, it plays 3 to 7 players, and they say it plays in about 20 minutes. It depends. I also have done a separate video on it, so you can always look that one up as well and get a little bit more information. The title basically says it all. You're going to have one person. It's a cooperative game. Everyone's trying to get the most points possible as a group. So you have one person who will be it, and everyone else will be writing one word to help the one person figure out what one word on a card is that they're trying to get you to guess. But only one person can have written each of the clues. If a clue is written by 2, the one word clue is written by 2 or more people, they are all erased. And that clue will not be shown to the one person. So it's just one person trying to guess just one word, and everyone is just giving a one word clue. Love it. In fact, I mean, you see it there. It's like, here's a word that's trying to be guessed. Here are the different one word clues. The name of the game basically tells you what is going to happen. So Just One is my number 12. It was my number 12 last year and my number 16 the previous year. Came out in 2018. And now to my number 11, the one that missed out of my top 10 by 1 spot. And this is one that I do not own, and I doubt I will ever own it, because I won't spend $120 plus for it. I will put, let's see what the cover, I didn't pull up a picture for it. Holy cow, how could I not have done that? Okay, I do not, we find, oh, there it is, cancel, there it is. Let it come up. It's thinking, it's trying to use my home. There we go. Okay. I have played it about 6 times over several years. Oh no, I've played it about 10 times now. But it came out in 2022, but I played it before it came out. And it is Blood on the Clock Tower. Blood on the Clock Tower was my number 13 last year and new to me. The previous year I did not own it. I had only played it once at that point, so I did not score it. It plays 6 to 21 players in, they say 30 to 120 minutes. Yeah, okay, no. First of all, I have played it with as few as 6 people, 6 and 7 people, which is the minimum. Most of my games, well, okay, the 6, 7 people one do go quickly. You can play the game in 45 minutes, 30, 45 minutes with that few of people. But my favorite way of playing it is at 10 to 12 people. That's my sweet spot for the game. 10 to 12 people. And that can take 2 to 2.5 hours to explain the game and to go through it all with 10 to 12 people. Yeah, 2 hours is not bad. I have seen occasionally when a group has done it in shorter amount of time, but that's because something big happened like on the fourth day of the game instead of waiting until the fifth or sixth day. And days are not 24-hour days. We're talking game in the game. Yeah. When they said 30 to 120 minutes, I said, and well, okay, 120 is 2 hours. Okay, it can take two, but I've seen it take 2.5 hours. I was the demon in one game that took 2.5 hours, and I had to bluff my way for 2.5 hours because I was the puka and I was trying to keep us alive, and I did succeed. The first time, first time for everything. But yeah, Blood on the Clock Tower is a social deduction game where even if, other social deduction games would be something like Ultimate Werewolf or Secret Hitler, or, I mean, there's so many out there now, but they are all much smaller than Blood on the Clock Tower. Blood on the Clock Tower is an experience. You want to go into it expecting to enjoy an experience. Each person is given a personage that they are in the game with certain powers or abilities. And each day you break up and you talk to people trying to figure out who is what, who can you trust, who do you not trust, who do you want to vote out or vote dead. During the daytime, the villagers choose someone, the players choose someone to kill, and at night, usually it works out that the demon chooses someone to kill in the middle of the night. And then you go to the next day and you do it again until usually about the fifth or sixth day is when you whittle it down to just a few, and you try and figure out, because to win, the good side needs to kill the demon, and for the evil side to win, they need to have 2 people, the demon and a minion, still alive when you get down to no more than 4 people. And so yeah, it's Blood on the Clock Tower. It's social deduction. It's its own thing. I have not done a video specifically on it, and I will warn you, it is considered a medium level game, but you don't have to be a big gamer. This is bluffing. This is acting. If you're an RPG, into the role playing and stuff like that, if you're into acting and being in a drama group or something, Blood on the Clock Tower might be a good fit for you. If you like storytelling type events or games, Blood on the Clock Tower might be the right one for you. It is my number 11. Just missed out in the top 10. I do not own it, and I doubt I ever will. But I enjoy playing it. Not every day, all time, but a couple times a year with a really good group is the sweet spot for me. 10 to 12 is my favorite grouping of players for Blood on the Clock Tower. My number 11, and that's it. Next up will be my top 10. What will be my top 10? I'm looking at the list right there. I love them all. Until next time, happy gaming. God bless you and your family, and subscribe. I never say this. Never say subscribe and like and blah blah blah. I don't monetize this. This is just me sharing with you a little bit about some games that I truly love. God bless. Until next time, happy gaming. Bye.